Shalom, giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the water for joining me for the Shabbat. I want to kind of look at the things that's going on right now. We see that Russia's on the verge of invading Ukraine, and Mashiach Shai told us to watch and pray, right? So I want to look at Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. We're going to start out there with a few prophecies and look at what it says. It's always going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior Mashiach Yahushai, giving all praise and glory to his holy name. So I'm going to start with Ezekiel 38th chapter. So, and the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, so the word of the Most High came to Ezekiel, saying, this, son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, representing Russia, the chief priests of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, right? And say, thus say the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, O Russia, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. See, I will turn thee back. Meaning you're going to turn them back from, they was trying to bring us democracy. So I'm going to turn you back. They got to go back. He said, I'm going to turn you back, which they turned back to communism and put hooks into their jaws. So with these hooks in the jaws, meaning the Most High going to be controlling them. You understand this and understand this, because look at Daniel's 4:17. Daniel's 4:17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that we the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, right? And give it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the bases of men. So that's who's over the world right now, the bases of men. So this is what he said. I'm going to put hooks in their jaw, in the Russian jaws, to control them. You put a hook in a fish mouth, that fish going to go all around, trying to go everywhere you can think of, and you keep reeling. You just reeling it. He can go all over those, go all around the waters. But you keep reeling, he gonna come right to that fishing pole, right? That's what the Most High said. He's gonna put hooks in the Russian jaws. And I will bring thee forth, he said. Verse 4. And all thine army, see, all thine army. You got thousands lined up right now. This is like, I can't say precisely that this is the preparation of what the Most High is going to do in this case scenario, but you see all the armies are lined up on that border right now. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Not from Russia. He said, I'm going to put hooks in to that jaw. I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, all Russia's army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. You see them tanks? All sorts of armor. This is all he could describe to him in his world without seeing tanks and, having tanks and submarines and helicopters and jets and so forth. In spacecrafts, because they got spacecrafts too, y'all. Don't think that a Mashiach Shai coming back and it's going to be a galactical war in the sky. Oh yeah, it's already prophesied. It's going to happen. That's why people seeing what they call UFOs. All of them not just from the angels on the right hand side now. Some of them on the left side. It's got to be a great galactical battle in the sky that's going to scare everybody. Bring everybody down, He said he's going to make everybody dust and smell of smoke. That's all it's going to be. That's coming against him. Listen. In all thine army, Russia, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, weapons of war. You see? Say Russia got tanks about 18 inches, it's about 18 inches or more. They're going all the way around. In America, have something to go that could just melt one of them. One little bomblet can melt the Russian tank. I know that for a fact. Now this is going to be joined with them. Persia, Iranians, Ethiopia, Libya, North Africans with them. All of them with shield and helmet. All of them going to have war ordinances. Goma, that's France. And all this band, all his armies. House of Togamar, that's Germany, or the North Quarters, Germany is on North, and all this band, all his armies, and many people with him, more than that. Many gonna join with Russia, like China. How about China? Cuba's communist, Korea, India, we already said India, right there, Persians, you see? So all these nations gonna be joined with them, eventually. Be thou prepared, the Most High said. Prepare yourself. Be thou prepared. They prepared. So they got two bombs called Satan 1 and Satan 2. Oh yeah, they ready. They preparing themselves. That's why it's very important that we look at this. While Master Shai said watch and pray, you got to know what to watch and pray for. You better be knowing what these scriptures say, these prophecies are saying, as you seeing these things materialize in our time. He said, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, that's all the armies of these other nations, that's going to be joined with Russia. Because, you can look at why is America involved in sending troops and everything over to Europe and to monitor what they're doing on the borders of the Ukraine. Think about it. Why are they the police of the earth if they're not superpower of the earth in their mind? But the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. See, that's the part that everybody's missing. They missing the Most High. See, everybody, Mother Nature, El Nino, La Nina, this, that, and the third, whatever, it's the Most High. I won't say what the people call God, because that could be any entity. But the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob. Jacob became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this Bible's talking about. Now, if you don't identify him as such, you just talk about God. You talk about what? There's many gods. The Arabs had a God for every day of the year. Muhammad came and learned from us and came up with Islam. I mean, come on. It's still, even in the Quran, they say the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In one verse, they got the power of Abraham, Ishmael, and Isaac and Jacob, but it don't run like that because Isaac had Esau and Jacob. See, a brother can't be with his brother's wife unless he didn't bring forth children. So that doesn't make sense. You see? That's why the Most High said he chose Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and we became the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what we say is. That's his name forever, the memorial to all generations. Point blank. Exodus 3:15. That's what he says. So he telling Russia to be prepared. Be thou prepared, and they prepared. And prepare for thyself. If they were prepared, you think they would march that many men, 100,000 men or more, tanks and everything on the borders if they ain't prepared? Better think again. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, all the armies of these nations are going to be joined with Russia that are assembled unto thee. You hear that? Russia the head, all of them going to be assembled unto Russia. And be thou a guard unto them. Watch over them. Just like America got their allies, they got their allies. Like you just read. We just read it. They're going to be down with them. After many days, in the future, thou shalt be visited See, I don't know if this is that time now or not, but he said after many days, they're going to be visited. In the latter years, we in the last days, you know that. So when in the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back by the sword, and is gathered out of many people. This is talking about America. Against the mountains of Israel, and is the land of Israel, which have been always waste. You see? But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. They're going to come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. That's a lot of men of war. Thou and all thy bands, thou and all thy armies. That's what it's saying. Future prophecy. And many people with thee. The many people is these other nations' armies. Thus said the Most High power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind. You're going to put this in their mind. And thou shalt think an evil thought. I mean, they don't think an evil thought. That's no big deal. I mean, Proverbs 16:4. Look, because they are Edomites. It says, the Most High made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. You see? So he said they're gonna think of evil thought. It's in their nature to have evil thoughts, you know, and to do evil things. So it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. Unwalled villages is a place that has no security. The security is not there. I will go to them that are at rest. Ain't nobody ever touched. That's why I say, look at America. This is how they say. This is what they say. Gonna get to those a place that's always at rest, right? Them that are at rest, right? Ain't nobody touching America, right? Go to Isaiah 47, verse 8. Let's read verse 7. And thou said, I shall be a lady forever. America said this, so that thou didst not lay these things in thy heart. They ain't think about this. Neither remember the latter end of it. Like he said, the last days. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given the pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, they at rest, right? That saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Look at the Bibles. They say they I am, none else beside them. I shall not sit out as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Okay? Let's hold that. We're going to come back to it. It says, hold on. They're going to think of evil thought, right? Back to Ezekiel 38:11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. Meaning unwalled villages, the security system is not satisfactory. That dwell safely. All of them dwelling without walls, meaning without security, the proper security, and having neither bars nor gates, you see? Having neither bars nor gates. That means they don't have no security system that will be able to stop this from happening, because the Most High said you're going to put hooks in their jaws. You put a hook in their jaw to make them do exactly what he wants them to do. To take a spoil, it said, and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited. You know, America's a wilderness. But here it's saying now inhabited. The great melting pot, all kind of people here. All nations here. Come to America, you know. And upon the people that are gathered out of the nations. See? What nation is like America, where all the people you could think of is in their land? Everybody want to come here. All nations are here. What it says, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land, right? Cattle and goods, man. I mean, look, better understand. They living deliciously off America. Look, look at Revelations 18 and 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with America, with her, shall bewail her, right? And lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. We ain't got there yet, but that's the future. Let's keep on going. It says, verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey. This is verse 12 of Ezekiel 38th chapter. To turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods. Like they done got rich of America, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, Spain, with the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, take away all their riches, to take away cattle and goods, all the food supplies, everything that they have, to take a great spoil, to take everything that they have? Therefore, Son of Man, prophesy and say unto Gog, say unto Russia, thus say the Most High Power, in that day, when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shall thou not know it? When we dwell safely, shall we not know it? Shall they not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, Russia, the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. Now you say, it tells our people going to dwell safely. The Israelites going to be dwelling safely. That's very important because there are going to be some of us that are going to fulfill this. And Most High will it be us if we really striving to allow us to, Most High, have mercy and allow this to happen to us. That's why I say when we dwell safely in this aspect. Job 5 and 19. He who is the Most High shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah. In 7 there shall no evil touch thee. See? All this going to be going down. In famine, the spoil they're going to take, like you say, cattle and goods. That's famine. In famine, food shortages, he shall redeem thee from death. Remember what it said. This is what we want to. This is where I want to be. I don't know where you want to be. It said, verse 14 of Ezekiel 38. Therefore, Son of Man, prophesy and say unto God, thus say the Most High Power, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, thou shalt not know it. Look what it say. In famine, Job 5:20, he shall redeem thee from death, and in war. We talk about here, in war, from the power of the sword, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, the things that they saying. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction. Destruction is coming when it cometh. You see? At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. What did it say? Israel, Ezekiel 38:14, Israel, my people of Israel dwelleth safely. Right? In famine, and he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, the things that they saying concerning us. Neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine that they gonna bring, thou shalt laugh. Neither shall thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Let you know the beasts of the earth gonna be eating people up. Teeth of wild beasts, that's spirit of vengeance of the Most High. But thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. See? So that's where we want to be at. Also in Salakia, look at Bear with me. Second Ezra 2, in verse 26. For all those that have us in captivity around the world. The Most High said in 2 Ezra 2:26, as for the servants who are the 12 tribes of Israel, whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish. Let me say we're going to dwell safely. For I will require them from among thy number. This is what he say. Be not weary, Yasharallah, Israelites, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, that's what we're reading about. Others shall weep and be sorrowful. You don't want to be here. You want to be weeping and being sorrowful. Remember it said we're going to laugh at famine and destruction? Others shall weep and be sorrowful. But thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Hear that? Gonna be merry, happy, and have abundance, plenteousness. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the Most High. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. Be joyful, O thou mother, with thy children, if you teach them the right way, and they following the right way, for I will deliver thee, said the Most High. Hey, okay, so that's good news. As it's going down, look, he said, Ezekiel 38:14, therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, say unto Russia, thus say the Most High power, in that day, when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, thou shalt not know it. Gonna know this. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all these armies that's going to be joined with Russia. All of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. Hear that? Mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. You hear that? The heathen gonna know him. They're gonna know the Most High. He gonna let them know that Russia is rolling with the Most High. How about that? Because remember he said in verse 4, and I will turn thee back, no matter what they want to do. He gonna turn them back and put hooks into thy jaws to direct them in the way that they're going to go. That the Most High said, hey, you're going to follow exactly what I... Because remember, he ruled in the kingdom of men and set up over the bases of men. So all of them base. It's just a matter of some are baser than others, but they all base. Right now, these latter days, come on. He saved them for the last. And he told us he going to give us to the worst of the heathen and all of that. It's already written. We the ones that messed up while they in charge. We're supposed to be over all these nations, but we didn't follow the Most High's rules and regulations, so therefore, we suffer as we suffer. Verse 16 again, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, O Russia, before their eyes. All the nations gonna know that the Most High is sanctified in Russia, because he got them hooks in their jaw, having them do exactly what he wanted to do. Thus say the Most High power. That's the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time when Russia shall come against the land of Israel, said the Most High, that my fury shall come up in my face. So when they go against the land of Israel, his fury gonna come up in his face, because we have Israelites that's still over there in that land. You see? And his fury gonna come up in his face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Hear that? In my jealousy, that's the land that the Most High loved. They didn't defile the land, doing all kind of abominable things in his land that he loved, the land of Israel. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Talking about the Most High. He says, a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. Hebrews 10:31. The Most High is a consuming fire. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking. Where? In the land of Israel. It's going to be a great shaking in the land of Israel. So that it's going to be shaken so much that the fishes of the sea and the fowl, the birds of heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all creepers, all the way down to the insects that creep upon the earth, and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. You ready for this? And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Right? That's prophesied. You hear what he said? Every wall gonna fall to the ground. You gotta purify that land. That's why Mashiach Shai said, go to let me find it. Excuse me. He said, every wall gonna fall to the ground. Man, that's deep. Go to Matthew the 24th chapter. Oh, praise the Most High. Let's look. It says, this is Mashiach Shai was on the earth. He said in Matthew 24:1, and Mashiach Shai went out and departed from the temple. So he left the temple. And his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple, right? Showed him the buildings of the temple. They building temples in the land of Israel. And this is what the Mashiach Shai told them. And the Mashiach Shai said unto them, see ye not all these things, all these buildings that they building up in the land of Israel? Verily, truly, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Where we hear that from? Sound familiar? Do it sound familiar? Sound familiar to me. Going back to Ezekiel 38th chapter. He said, in verse 20, he said, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. You understand? He said, I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains. Kingdom, said the Most High Power. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Hear that? That's every man's sword against his brother. Warfare. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. Diseases and blood. We see all these plagues on the earth right now. And I will rain upon him, and upon his bands, upon his armies, and upon many people that are with him, and overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. That's from the Most High. Russia ain't doing this. Nobody's doing this. Most High said, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. You hear that? Most High said this is what he gonna do. With pestilence and blood. And I will rain upon him, and upon his bands, upon his armies, and upon the many people that are with him. These other nations, these other heathen nations that's with him. You know, it ain't us that's with him. It's gonna be these other nations that's with him. And overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. That's what I magnify myself. Here it is. You're gonna know that he is the Most High. Hear what he said? That's what I magnify myself. The Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. and sanctify myself. You hear that? A lot of things the Most High say, it's this all for him. But see, you can't get it twisted and thinking he's doing it for us. You know, hopefully we'll be ones that he showed mercy and grace to, and we be able to fulfill. Job, the 5th chapter, the 19th verse down, and 2 Ezra 2 and 26 down. I mean, come on. Ain't no guarantee. Shoot. Better work toward it. That's why this is worth working toward. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself. That's the Most High. And the eye is the Most High. I will be known in the eyes of many nations. See, understand this. Just like the Most High put all them plagues on the Egyptians. Why? To get him a name. You know what he said? He said, thus will I magnify myself. Don't get it twisted. You don't see Israel there. You don't see yourself there, do you? You better understand, this is all about the Most High. Because in the end, once a Mashiach Shai rule for 1,000 years, you're going to be subject to the Most High, and the Most High going to be all in all forever and ever and ever and ever. Ain't going to be no doubt, no question about this, that, the third, whatever. Everybody going to know the Most High. Who we talking about? Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're going to be acknowledging him as, like he say, you going to know that I am the Most High. You better understand and understand this point. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself. And I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know, there it is, that I am the Most High. You hear that? He said, you're going to know that he is the Most High. Understand this. So let's look at Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. Go to Jeremiah 50. We prophesying a little bit this evening. And let's start at verse 8. And it reads, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. So it said, remove out of the land of Babylon. We might have to be like pilgrims, like it said, the scriptures say, we might have to be moving up out of here. But first and foremost, you got to follow what it says in Revelation 18:4 to get some understanding. Because what's the point of everybody leaving America and still have a twisted mindset of what this is all about? What different? You go wherever you go, you're going there with the same twisted mindset and not understanding that this is about the Most High's truth, his laws, statutes, commandments. So we can be all in all, straight up, following his rules and regulations. You can go somewhere and think you can go somewhere and hide from this and you being wicked as ever, you still going to be dealt with. Listen, this is what he's talking about first and foremost. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, this is the Most High telling us, come out of her, my people. You see? Come out of that mindset of America and all these other nations that we've been, in captivity. He scatters on the four corners of the earth. We got to come out of the mindset of these nations. But America's influenced everyone. Like you say, they done drank of the wrath of her fornication. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, 12 tribes of Israel, that ye be not partakers of her sins. So you got to know what sin that they're doing. You got to know what sin is. You got to recognize sin, or you're going to be destroyed as a sinner. What's sin? You be not partakers of her sins. What's sin? 1 John 3 and 4. Since y'all like to say that we not under the law, but we in the mercy and grace, and listen what sin is. 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Whose laws? The Most High's laws. Who created the laws? The Most High. So that's why he's saying in Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, 12 tribes of Israel. that ye be not partakers of her sins. The things that you could do that's against the Most High's laws. He gave us moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. You see, the law of sacrifice, we say we're not under the law, we're not under the law of sacrifice. Now we got to allow our bodies to be a living sacrifice. You see? But he said we got to come out of the mindset. So we don't be a part of her sins. And that you receive not of her plagues. You see this place being plagued. So how long the Most High got to plague us and do the things that He's going to do to us to get our attention, to realize that we cannot continue to do the sins and do the things that this world would have you to do, to go to hell with it. With something we already in hell. To catch more hell in hell and then be thrown in hell. That what you want? That's what this is about. You're going to choose life or death. That's it. Heaven, in the kingdom, on this earth, or hell, the lake of fire. That's your choice. You got 2 choices that He give us. But you only got one to choose. And that's how you operate, so that whatever you've done, you're worthy to get to this heaven that's going to be on this earth. And not somewhere in the outer space somewhere. Come on now. We're going to be right here on this earth. That's why He said, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins. You don't have to do the things that you know that's wrong. And people talking about, I'm looking at, that's what you look for in these preachers, for them to say, sin. Since they say we're not under the law, and you just define sin in 1 John 3 and 4. So what they actually coming to people who come to pray for against the things they done wrong. That's what they might say. You know, they probably say, come up, we can pray for you for the things you done wrong. How you know what's wrong if you don't know the laws of the Most High? What you basing it on? Because all the law based upon how we love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and strength, and how we love each other. Love thy neighbor as thyself, as Israelites. You already taught you a Gentile, so you ain't dealing with no law. All the gods of the nations are Gentiles, are idols. Psalms 96 and 5. That's who you are? Oh, you represent, you say, I'm a child of God. You're no child of God if you ain't keeping what He say. Do. You're the enemy of the Most High. You're the haters of the Most High, because He said, do what I say do. And you saying you ain't got to do it. You giving the middle finger. I don't know how else to put it to you. He said, do what I say do. And we always gave Him the middle finger. Therefore, we in captivity, slave, and bondage over and over and over again. We trying to get out of this. The only way you'll get out of it is hear what He's saying to do. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. You see? A lot of you being seduced, man, by these evil spirits. And you've been seduced all your life. Here you've been still dealing with the same kind of spirits that those spirits get into people, have them seduce you, that have you follow them to hell. Let you know you suffering, you got to go through more affliction, more affliction, more affliction. What you got to do? Most I getting our attention. He getting my attention, I know. By death. It's happening over and over and over again. Too many. Every day I turn on the social media, somebody done died. Condolences, my condolences. What do you got to do? He ain't let up. It ain't let up. I figured, coming this year, Esau year, at least it'll stop. No, it ain't stopped. Plagues, man. That you receive not of her plagues. This place being plagued, y'all. Y'all don't realize it? Y'all don't realize this place being plagued? Better understand the whole world. Going back to Jeremiah 50. Verse 8, remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo. And the he-goats, they're the ones, they have a goat. They have a goat leading the sheep. Y'all know that, right? And they train the goat to go this way, and the sheep be following right behind the goat. Have the goat go in there, befriend the sheep, and we're sheep. And the goat will go this way, and they'll have the goat go to the right, and the sheep go to the left, They cut it off so the sheep can't do them, but go to the left, and they be killed, slaughtered, one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. So we gotta be like the he goats going this way to the right way. You see, going to the right. Those wicked sheep gonna go to the left. You don't want to be one of them. You're gonna be slaughtered. But lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, like we just read about Russia. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, which the missiles, shall be as a mighty expert man. They're not going to miss their mark. None shall return in vain. You hear that? None of these missiles that's going to be shot going to be returned in vain. None of them. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. Remember we just read about that spoil? They're going to be robbed, taking everything they have. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, said the Most High. They're going to be rejoicing of all that they're going to get. Because ye were glad. Because you was glad. Because you rejoiced. Oh yeah, you were glad, you rejoiced. Oh, you destroyers of mine heritage. Oh, you destroyer of the Most High's heritage. Who is that? Better understand. Let's find out. One scripture I know is Deuteronomy 32:8-9. Who's the Most High's heritage? Because it's not the people that's over there now. Most High said when we go back to that land, the children of Israel go back to the land, going to be in world peace. A lion going to sit down with the sheep and so forth, eat grass and so forth. Is that happening? No. Because we not in that land. Deuteronomy 32, who's the Most High's heritage? Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, wait a minute, I thought everybody was supposed to be integrated. Most High separated the sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So he gave the children of Israel their land, then he gave all the other nations their land. Look at the back of your Bibles on the maps, and you'll see the tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, land, and you'll see these other nations outside of where he gave us our land. For the Most High's portion is his people. Jacob was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, is the lot of his inheritance, see? So we is inheritance, you know? So going back to Jeremiah 50, verse 11, because ye were glad, you was happy, because ye rejoiced, oh yeah. Oh, you destroyers of mine and my heritage, destroyers of his people, children of Israel, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls, became fat. You got to look at it. Free labor forever, all that time. That's a forever to me. I mean, dang, over 400 some years, even to now, people still laboring and working for them. They had us 400 years and they got everybody working. Take theirs off the top, don't they? Giving you pennies to the dollar. If you can say a penny. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Your mother gonna be sore confused. She that bear you shall be ashamed. Say shame on you. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. Where? July 4, 1776. That ain't the last parts of the nation. Shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Ain't nobody gonna live here because of the wrath of the Most High. Let me read you again. Behold, the hindermost of the nations. What came after July 4th, 1776, if thou canst say? The hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. America gonna be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Most High, it shall not be inhabited. Hear that? Ain't nobody gonna live here. Because of the wrath of the Most High. He gonna bring this. But it shall be wholly desolate. Just like he told us, if we don't follow his laws, statutes, commandments, He gonna make our land desolate. And our land is desolate. You got beautiful dirt, beautiful earth, and nothing grows on it. Desolate. That's what he's talking about. Only the Most High could do that. Come on. Everyone that goeth by Babylon, America shall be astonished. Could be astonished in his at all her plagues. Oh, y'all think the plagues just began and this is gonna be over? This is when it's a desolation. They're gonna hiss at all her plagues. The Most High bringing these plagues. How we remember this? His ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts, but he's bringing forth these plagues that he said he's gonna do. That's prophesied. They're gonna hiss at all her plagues, plural. Oh, we ain't saying nothing yet. That's why you better be ready, man. You better be ready. This ain't no joke. Put yourself in array against Babylon, against America, round about. All ye that bend the bow, all ye that have missiles, everybody got missiles. And y'all know the missiles pointed right over here to America. That's what it's saying. Put yourself in array against America, Babylon. Babylon the Great, virgin daughter of Babylon. It is what it is, Babylon. Come from Babal, which means confusion. Put yourself in array against America, Babal, round about. All you that bend the bow, all you that have missiles, he's saying. All you nations that have missiles, shoot at her. Shoot at her. Spare no arrows, spare no missiles. For she have sinned against the Most High. Hey, what? Y'all, we in Jeremiah, go to Jeremiah crying on Lamentations 4:22. He said, the punishment of thine inheritance, iniquity, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, children of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. We already read what he's going to do to the 1/3. We not going into captivity no more. When you read Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt, which means captivity, slavery, and bondage again another time with ships. By the way where I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, a land of Israel as a nation. And there when we go on these ships, as a people, ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, slave men and slave women. And no man shall buy you, no man shall save you from the condition that we put ourselves in for not following the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, his rules and regulations. Ain't no man gonna save us. Told you that already in Deuteronomy 28:29. Ain't no man gonna save you. Only the Most High. That's what we reading about. That's what I've read about. The Bible show me what man. Every man stand up to try and help us. What happens to them? They get killed. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, you name them. They all be put to death. Only the Most High gonna do that, y'all. All you that's looking for a man, hey, only the Most High gonna do this. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. This is what we're gonna fulfill. Job the 5th chapter, the 19th verse down, and 2nd Ezra 2:26 down. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. That's our last captivity. Right here. In this last days that we in now. Ain't no more captivity for Israel, for we the Israelites. This is it. This is what he say. He will visit thine iniquity. He will visit the iniquity, the wickedness, the evil, the sins, O daughter of Edom. This is what he say. He will discover thy sins. He's going to discover your sins. That's what they're saying. That's why we're looking at this, because when you look at 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau would have to be ruling during the end of the world. That's why he's dealing with Russia coming against America and Israel. That's Edomites going to Satan casting out Satan. You know, it is what it is. How should this kingdom stand? This is what it says. It says, verse 14, put yourself in array against Babylon, round about. against America round about, all ye that bend the bow, all ye that have the missiles. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Most High. See? That's why he say you're going to discover their sins. Of who? Edom. Because they're the superpower of the earth. See, the Most High is fair. The Most High allow everybody to rule and have their time to hear the prophets that the Most High done sit on this earth in their time, like this time. Are they paying attention? Or are they coming against us? You answer that question. Because Nebuchadnezzar said, bet nobody talk about the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or you're going to make their house a dunghill, a crap house. Cyrus said, you build the temple. Israelites, go build your temple to call on your power, the Most High power. He said your power, he understood, your power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It made sure that people donated money and their ability to do whatever was needed for us to do what the Most High ordained him to tell us to do. In building the temple, that we can call on the name of the Most High. But when the Greeks came into power, we just went over Feast of Dedication. Y'all notice how when Judas Maccabees, after Antiochus Epiphanes, wicked Edomite, had destroyed and defiled the temple to the utmost, sacrificing swine flesh and having prostitutes sell their bodies all in, having sex all in the church and so forth, the temple and so forth. They're doing all kind of abominable things, having the women put to death for circumcising their boys on the 8th day, teaching the scriptures to the people against the law to call yourself an Israelite. What'd he do? When Judas Maccabees got the temple back during the Greek Empire and we were scattered among these nations, they started to kill us. They started, I'm not just saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me show you. He got the temple back. We just went over this. Feast of Dedication. We got the temple back, right? So we all happy. We're able to call on the Most High. Go to 1 Maccabees 5th chapter. Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built, this during the Greek Empire, the so-called white man empire, and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, just like I told you.